Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's topic is Euler's number. It's denoted by small e. You are already familiar with this number. It's used in many branches of mathematics, in physics, in engineering, in finance. There are so many places where they play a very important role. So let's start by understanding what e is and how it was discovered and where is it used. As mentioned just now, e is called the Euler's number. It's different from the Euler's constant, which you will see later. You already know value of e is 2.718284 dash dash dash. It is an irrational number, that is, it cannot be expressed as a fraction. Its decimal representation has non-repeating, non-ending digits. E can be defined in different ways. First, let's look at the limit definition. E is given by limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 1 by n raised to the power n. The infinite series definition is as follows. E is equal to summation n value 0 to infinity 1 upon n factorial, which is nothing but 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial dash dash dash. It goes up to infinity. It is nothing but the Taylor series expansion of e to the power x when we take x value to be 1. Even logarithms can be used for defining e. E is the base of natural logarithm. How was e discovered? It was first discovered by Jacob Bernoulli when he was finding how wealth would grow if interest was compounded more frequently rather than annually. But many years later, Euler, in his book Introduction in Analysis in Finitorum, showed that e is an irrational number with non-repeating digits. He proved e can be written as 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 upon 1 into 2 into 3 dash dash dash. He used the letter e for exponent. So then what about the function e to the power x? Now e to the power x is an exponential function. It's a special case of the exponential function a to the power x, where x is called the exponent and our a is always positive constant. A can be anything, 2, 10, e. Now if you take a to be e, we get the exponential function e to the power x. It's quite a unique function because its differential remains the function itself. E is the only possible number such that e to the power x increases at the rate of e to the power x for all x. E also gives rise to another function e to the power ix, which is nothing but cos x plus I sin x. You know, this is the very famous Euler's formula. If you take x to be pi, then e to the power I pi will be nothing but cos pi plus I sin pi, and this is nothing but minus 1 plus 0. We get e to the power I pi plus 1 is equal to 0, which is the Euler's identity, connecting 5 fundamental constants 0, 1, pi, I and e. Physicist Richard Feynman called this the most remarkable formula in mathematics as it connects many branches: algebra, complex analysis, trigonometry, geometry, in a very, very fascinating way. So what are the applications of E? Now, the discovery of E was a game changer for finance. Most important use of E is in finance, where growth of money is found by continuously compounding. And the formula which is used is A is equal to P multiplied by e to the power RT, where A is nothing but the amount which we get after continuous compounding. P is the principal. E is nothing but 2.718. So this is an approximate value. R is the rate of interest in decimals. That is, we divide the given rate by 100, and T is the time in years. Now, what is continuous compounding? Continuous compounding means interest is added every instance rather than annually or every month or every day, which means interest is reinvested over infinitely small unit of time. Let us take an example and see how E is used when our rate of interest is compounded continuously. So in this example, we are given, if you invest $1,000 for 5 years at an annual rate of 8%, and this is compounded continuously, what amount will you receive after 5 years? So we'll use the above formula. A is equal to Pe to the power RT. Our P is nothing but 1000. We are given rate of interest as 8%. We divide it by 100. We write R as 0.08, and our time T is nothing but 5 years. You will get the amount as approximately 1491.82. 2. Note, theoretically, compounding continuously gives the maximum growth under ideal conditions. As the compounding frequency increases, the amount A increases, the gains of course slow down. We will see using the same example, and we will take the compounding frequency to be monthly, daily, quarterly, and let's compare it to continuous compounding. So let's change the frequency of interest and see what amount we get. We'll just compare and see which gives us the maximum amount. If the same principal is invested at the same rate for same number of years, but now it's compounded yearly, then the amount you receive will be using the formula A is equal to P1 plus R by N to the power NT. When we substitute P is 1000, R is 8. Now, since it is yearly, N is 1 and time of course is 5, you will see that A is nothing but approximately 1469.32. Now if it is compounded monthly, then we'll change our N value to 12 and we will get the amount as approximately 1489.8. Let's try what happens when we compound quarterly. In that case, our N value will be 4 and this will give us the amount as approximately 1486. If you compound daily, then our N value will be nothing but 365 and the amount will come out to be 1491.63. Now let's compare. When the principal of $1000 is compounded yearly, the amount approximately is 1469.32. When it is compounded quarterly, it is 1486. When it is compounded monthly, it's 1489.8. When it is compounded daily, it's 1491. And when it is continuously compounded, where we use our exponential E, we get the maximum gain, and that is 1491.82. You can see the gain has slowed down, but it is still more. So you see, as the compounding frequency increases, the amount also increases. E is also used in probability and statistics. In probability, E appears in random processes, continuous growth and decay, in discrete probability like Poisson's distribution, in continuous probability like exponential distribution, in normal distribution and probability of no successes, where we use the formula limit n tending to infinity 1 minus 1 upon n whole raised to the power n, which is nothing but 1 upon E, where n is the number of independent trials. Now, let's come to an example and see how it is used in probability. If n people put their keys in a bowl and each one randomly picks one, the probability that no one gets their own key is given by 1 by E, which is approximately 0.3679, which means that there are 36.79% chance that they do not pick their own key. It's also known as the de-arrangement problem. E is also used in exponential growth and decay like population growth, bacteria growth, etc., radioactive decay, radiometric dating, nuclear scientists use for heavy metals like uranium, for cooling of objects, etc. The formula which we use here is dy by dx is equal to k times y, and if we integrate, we get yt is equal to y0 times e to the power k into t. If k is positive, we get growth, for example, of bacteria, etc. If k is less than 0, we get decay, for example, in carbon 14. Let's look at some examples. If a bacteria culture has 1000 bacteria and it grows continuously at a rate of 10% per hour, how many bacteria will be there in 72 hours? Now, if we have to find that, we'll use the formula Bt is equal to B0 e to the power RT, where B0 is the number of bacteria at the beginning. We know it's given to be 1000. R is given to be 10% per hour. So we take it to be 10 upon 100, which is 0.1, multiplied by the time, which is 72. You will see the number of bacteria after 72 hours comes out to be 1339431, which means that it has grown 1339 times. Let's look at another example where E plays an important role in case of decay. If a radioactive substance decays continuously with a half-life of 4 hours, if we start with 100 gram, how much will be left after 12 hours? So we use the formula A is equal to P e to the power minus kt, because there is a decay. Here, k is nothing but ln 2 upon half-life, which is ln 2 upon 4. We are given that it has a half-life of 4 hours. You will now put all these values in your formula. We'll get A as 12.5 12.5 grams. So from 100 grams, it has now reduced to 12.5 grams. In mathematics, it's used in many branches. For example, differential equations, where it gives us the solution to many type of different differential equations. In complex analysis, again, it plays an important role. You've seen earlier, e to the power I x is cos x plus I sin x. In calculus, for modeling exponential growth or decay. In engineering, like signal processing, quantum mechanics, AC circuits, in electrical engineering, in systems modeling, etc., it is used. So you should remember Euler's number is given by E, which is 2.71828 dash dash. It goes on, whereas the Euler's constant is given by gamma, which is 0.57721. It's also called the Euler-Mashroni constant. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with another interesting video. See you.